Over the past 7+ years at this point, my shop has served almost 10,000 customers, which is just amazing. And I know that on this channel, I talk a lot about the how to, basically a how to do everything. And this video is going to be a little bit different. So if you're just now finding my channel, maybe this isn't the one to start out with. Although I am going to cover a little bit of where I started from and what led me to today and why there's such a big announcement at the end of this video. Hello, welcome, or hopefully welcome back, because like I said, this is not a video for the people that don't know anything about me or my shop. Go back and watch some of my other videos and then revisit this one to hear the announcement and make sense of everything. All right, now that we've gotten rid of the newbies and you and I have been together for a little while, it's time to share some exciting and kind of bittersweet news about my online store. So let me start from the beginning and give you some background and context before I tell you what's going on. When I got my dream job right out of school, I was disappointed to have a moment of panic where I realized that every day of my life was going to look more or less the same for the next 30, 40 years until I retired. And that was when I started looking for alternative options. But the problem was I didn't really have much money and I had a lot of debt, and that was about to get way worse. In fact, when I started my online store, a lot of you know this, but I had $73,000 of consumer credit card debt. Wow, that was overwhelming. So around the same time that I started my store, I realized that I couldn't afford my life anymore and I had to make some pretty severe changes. And some of those were not very healthy, including moving in with an ex-partner who just was awful for me, and losing my best friend literally to an overdose that I had no idea he had a problem, and also an immediate family member ending up in a coma, which I would not wish upon my worst enemy, to see anybody in a coma. It is not like the movies and stuff. So it was a really, really difficult time in my life that I was going through when I started the contract shop. Starting a business itself is hard enough, and then when you throw in a bunch of trauma from relationship issues and a bunch of just sad, heartbreaking events from your own life, this time in my life, I literally have no idea how I got through it, not to mention the crippling debt I was in. And the one thing that changed everything for me, I'll still remember exactly where I was when I saw that first sale come in. I kept waiting for that big break to happen, that one thing that was going to change everything. And it was a lot more subtle than that. It was actually a conversation that I had with someone, realizing what was going on in their life and how I could help them, and then creating a product that served that need. And that was how the contract shop was born. So that happened when I was doing pretty much any odd job or little thing that I could do to make ends meet at the time. And shortly after that, I went in front of someone else's audience. They had a much bigger audience than I did, much more engaged. And I just went and did an educational webinar. It wasn't even like a salesy webinar. It didn't have any flashy bells and whistles and secrets and all this other stuff. It just was here's everything you need to know about a really boring topic. And I tried to make it as fun and funny as I could. And people really enjoyed it. They stayed till the end, where I had a terrible pitch, told them about my online store, and sold $3,700 worth of merchandise in one weekend. And that just blew my mind, because suddenly everything that all these liars on the internet, I thought they were liars at the time, all these liars on the internet were telling me, that they were making money from anywhere, that they had sales rolling in, they could just look at their phone. Basically the same stuff I say to you guys now. I thought they were just lying and that wasn't actually happening for anyone. But it turns out that actually is true. You just have to have the right product. And that's where I found myself finally. Now, you might think that everything was just, roses and daisies from there on out, but honestly, no one had prepared me to run a business. So even though I had cash coming in, I immediately was spending it as much and as fast as I could on different contractors and software and basically everything I could to up-level my business in a very short amount of time. It was a time of my life where I felt like if I didn't up-level as fast as I could, I was going to get left behind. And I don't regret moving as fast as I did back then, even though my life looks way different now, because it was what allowed me to set up my life for the way it is now, which is I talk to clients one day a week, maybe two, depending on a holiday schedule. And then I have the rest of the week to just work creatively and record videos like this, which I really enjoy. But in the beginning, it didn't look like that. It looked like me pushing my way onto every single podcast, webinar, in front of anyone else's audience that I possibly could to talk about this very important topic of legal stuff, and then also trying to sell my products at the end of those conversations. So that's what my business looked like for more or less the first 3 years. And then in summer 2018, I hit my first six-figure month. I believe it was 142 or 143, like $143,000. And I immediately fell into like a very dark place. And I went and hired a therapist at this time because I didn't want to feel that way. I didn't know why I felt that way. And that was when I got diagnosed with ADHD. So what I thought was depression was actually ADHD manifesting itself in depressive symptoms. But I'm not going to geek out about it right now. I wish I could, but there's a big difference between depression and ADHD. And there's some pretty obvious things that she knew right away to refer me to an ADHD physician versus like a clinical psychiatrist who deals with depression, because like I had very forward-thinking thoughts. I was planning for the future. I was excited and engaged and hopeful and all those things. It just like kind of manifested, and I couldn't get out of bed and open my inbox. So that was what was happening at the time. And it was just because I was so overwhelmed. I literally couldn't figure out a way to like conquer everything that was coming in, because obviously on the back end of a $143,000 month, there's a lot of customer stuff that's happening, just innocent things, questions, excitement for the next thing, trying to get in touch with you for whatever reason, reviews. Like it wasn't bad things that were happening, but in my mind, it was too much. So I couldn't deal with it. And that was really what forced me to shift my business and how I ran it and slow down a little bit. So I started replacing a lot of me in my business at this time. I also up-leveled my branding. For this, actually, I'd moved from a personal brand into a shop. So I must have been feeling it a little subconsciously before all this started breaking down. And I just really took and felt the intention of putting someone else in charge of all the operations, which has always been Nicole Boucher, and she's done that fabulously. She also has lots of great resources, so we'll link to those below. For the next few years, I really took a step back and started becoming the creative brain of the contract shop and just kind of driving forward projects that I felt like were really fun and exciting to me until I launched this brand. In August 2020, I started this company where I started coaching and mentoring other people about their online shops and creating digital products. And that's been such a fun journey and lots of things that I haven't seen coming. Like I just wanted 1,000 YouTube subscribers last year. That was my goal, and we hit nearly 10,000. So thank you guys so much. And it's been really fun to be at the helm of two companies, but it's also been very distracting. And for someone who's trying to simplify their life and has goals that don't align with running two companies, I made the difficult decision to put the contract shop up for sale with a brokerage. Like 90% of me thought that nothing would happen and this would just be a really cool YouTube series I could do about how to sell your business and take you guys behind the scenes of what it looked like for me and who I contacted and how it went. But I ended up getting a fantastic offer from a wonderful individual who is now the new owner of the contract shop. So my big news is that I am no longer the owner of the contract shop. I am now only a founder. And I've been waiting to tell you guys this until the right moment and trying to figure out how to talk to you about it, because so many of you, not just here on YouTube, but like those of you who are going to see this clip on Instagram or somewhere else or hear about it, you've been with me for so long and you have no idea how grateful I am. That's actually probably one of the things I'm most proud of in my entire life, is the fact that so many people follow me and never leave. Like I don't have people that just jump in and out, and they're all people that I would genuinely and truly love to sit down and have brunch with. I'll be having a mimosa, but if that's not your thing, I totally understand and I respect that. I'm so grateful to everybody who thinks that I have something to say and wants to learn from me, because there's a lot of days when it doesn't feel like I'm that kind of person. You know, that's for other people. That's for younger people. That's for prettier people. That's for smarter people. Like when I take a step back and I'm like, no, people want to listen to me. I don't have words. So I appreciate everybody who has been along with me for this journey, from my first podcast, Creative Empire, to all the products that I tried that failed, like the Owner's Inner Circle, to, the whole time at the contract shop and purchasing products from me along the way. And now with this new Christina Scalera brand and watching and subscribing to this YouTube channel, it just means so much to me. I really hope you've been able to learn a lot about business development and growth and watching, whether you're finding me today and you're kind of looking back over the years of my content that I've put out for so long, or, if you've been with me for a while and you're just kind of seeing this evolution happen. So there's a lot more how-to and technical videos that I'll be releasing, because the actual brokerage and sales process of selling a business was unlike anything else I've ever experienced, including buying a house. So I'm going to be breaking that down for you guys in case anybody out there wants to sell. And I also want to remind you that this is even more proof that you should be working on your digital products and your shop, because not only are the things that you sell assets that are valuable that people will buy, but the actual entire business and blog and social media ecosystem and everything that you're building is also another asset that someone could potentially buy from you one day. So I will be talking as much as I can about the numbers and statistics and things like that behind the business sale. Of course, I'm not allowed to reveal the price, but if you go back and watch my past videos, I know that's what everyone's wondering right now. If you go back and you watch my past videos, you can see how much my shop made in 2021. So maybe that gives you some kind of idea. But I will definitely be talking about all the logistical aspects of selling a business, a lot of which I hadn't anticipated, even as a seasoned, experienced businesswoman. So I'm excited to dive into some of those and share my experience with you. And I hope you'll be here for that journey. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love to see you do that below. It really means the world to me, because I make these videos with my team. It's a lot of time that it takes, and for a little like and a little subscribe, which is totally free to you, that just means everything. I'll be back to share a lot more about what this journey looked like logistically, and how I was able to position certain things in a strategic way to make sure that I was getting the most amount of money for my business and making use of the brokerage that I was working with. So if you want to see that, that's going to be in future videos, which, as long as you're subscribed, maybe set those notifications for the time being. That way you make sure you watch those next videos, because this is a series that I have not seen anywhere else. In fact, I know this doesn't really exist because I was searching like hell while I was trying to go through this process to find out what's normal and what's not. And I'm going to be breaking all of that down in future videos. So thank you so much for joining me in this video and this journey. And I hope that you are as excited and also feeling a little bittersweet about this announcement as I am. I don't know how that's going to change the content on this channel, because I no longer have a behind the scenes look at an online store. I might have another one up my sleeve, and that's all I'll say for now. So I will see you in future videos. Bye, everyone.